Dear friends, hello. My name is Yelena. I'm the director of this beautiful Russian house, and I'm really glad to see all of you here today. Today we have the closing program for the long run, more big program, and thanks to Akshat that we had it and have it here. I hope that we will continue this beautiful initiative through all other centers which we have in India. We have one in Mumbai, Chennai, and Calcutta too. So if you have any friends there, please say to them that soon this beautiful exhibition and the whole program will come to their cities. So today I'm really happy that we will have the presentation of the book. We will have a premiere film here, screen of the film Nadezhda, The Hope. For me, it will be also the first time I will see this, and we'll be glad to discuss it after the screening. So I think I will not take more your time. And Mr. Akshat, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And before you sit down, we would like to present you with a bouquet and to start off the proceedings. And I will... There are a few who are probably at the Russian Center or the Russian House in New Delhi, as it is called now, for the first time. There are a lot of programs that happen here. There are films that are screened. There is chess that you can learn and play. There's ballet, there's the Russian language and everything. And Madam Yelena has recently joined as the director of the Russian House, and we would like to congratulate her. She's the first woman director at the Russian House. Yes. And Savita, I would request you to please honor with it. Thank you so much, ma'am. The program today is, we have expanded from just the exhibition. So the just exhibition was running for 1 month, and more than 1 month actually, 19th August it opened. And the works that you see in a slideshow here are displayed on the ground floor. There's a separate gallery. You can still look at the works. They are there today itself, and we will go down to them. Some of the artists will be also here and are here right now also. So you can have a conversation about how they perceive the Russia that they have presented through their artworks, be it photographs, paintings, objects as memorabilia that they have carried with themselves and they carry forward. But before we get to the closing ceremony, I'm running ahead of myself. We are going to have a very beautiful session where we are going to be reading a book by an individual who most of you know as Parikshat Sahni, the actor, son of Balraj Sahni ji, nephew of Bhishma Sahni ji. I'll also then take a moment and try and bring him online here, because he'll be joining with us from Mumbai, and he was sipping his black coffee as I spoke to him and tested the connection. And I'm going to hope that technology will not fail us. Parikshat ji is 88. Hello, how are you doing, sir? Can you hear the claps, sir? Everybody is applauding your presence.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me, sir? Is this better?
I can't hear you clearly.
Can you hear me, sir? Is this better?
Is this better?
Anyway.
Is this better?
Anyway. The chairs are all empty, yeah. The people in the hall.
Yeah.
There are people in the hall.
Sir, I am now...
Everybody.
So, as you can see, we have Rama Pandey ji here, sitting there, right next to Varun Jay. And we have a fresh talent Rishi Bhutani, who's an actor. Then we have Murtaza Ali Khan, the film critic and curator. We have Suraj Kumar ji, who is a filmmaker, who's made on Shri Aurobindo and Rabindranath Tagore. He has made biopics on them. Then we have Ravindra Tripathi ji, who has been writing for ages for Rashtriya Sahni. Sir, यहाँ से देख पा रहे हैं. And then we have Professor Sankar Basu from JNU. We also have, I'll turn this around and you will be able to see. We have Ma'am Pooja Hali, who is the director with the National Gallery of Modern Art. And behind her is the director at the Russian House in New Delhi. We have Yelena Sergeyevna. And
Where is she?
So,
Здравствуйте.
So, as you can see, he has not lost the command over the language. You still quite well. And we have other people. So, what I will do, sir, is that मैं एक एक करके हमारे गणमान्य जो हमारे our guests, I will invite them onto the stage. I would like to invite Rama Pandey ji, if you could please join us. Savita, if you can have, Siddharth can get the bouquet, please. Ma'am, if you can join us. Savita ji, if you can escort her.
दिखाई दे रहा है?
हाँ हाँ बिल्कुल दिख रहे हैं, वो हाथ भी हिला रहे हैं. इधर कर दो तो उनको भी दिख जाएगा. Then he can also see. I'm sorry, तो हम क्या करें?
गलत आपके कुछ गुलाब आ रहे हैं मेरे पास.
ये देखिए, ये आप है.
ये दिख रही ना?
हाँ हाँ.
मैं इला अरुण की बहन हूँ, पीयूष की भी बहन हूँ. और आज मैं गालिया की आत्मा आपके सामने उजागर कर रही हूँ. ओके, थैंक यू.
Very good, very good.
थैंक यू, थैंक यू, थैंक यू. अब ये बोलो.
We have Ravindra Tripathi ji, please. आप भी हैं? Please. सिद्धार्थ, where is Siddharth? ये रविंद्र त्रिपाठी जी और
How are you?
I'm
How are you, sir?
I'm very fine, sir. I have been great admirer of Balraj Sahni ji, Vishnu Sahni ji, and yours.
Not mine, but by my dad's.
Yeah,
Yes.
I have
Bishop
seen your
David.
films, and
No, I've never patched on them.
well, the book is great. The book is great.
so
But this is not a patch on Bishop is writing.
so in Russia we generally the flowers are gifted to the women, and for the men we have gifts. Next, I would like to invite Suraj Kumar ji, if you could please join us.
Hello, sir.
Suraj ji, please. Parikshat ji, I would like to invite Varun ji. And here he is.
Salute. Salute.
Please. We are still missing Aditya Arya, and who's the director of Museo Camera. He'll be joining in some time. And Dr. Harshali Singh, she's on the way, another 2-3 minutes. At times traffic can be unplanned, but we will start nonetheless because everybody's time is very precious. And I would like to start off with Suraj ji. No, there's a reason. She's our showstopper. Because when we start to talk about Galia, there will be tears, there will be waterworks, and I would like to keep that for the last, because that is the most important part of the entire book. that we are going to do. So Ramaji, please don't take it otherwise. I have specifically asked you to do that because I knew that you would pull it off with the required respect and the way it should be done. Ji.
I'm already Galia.
So, good evening, everyone. It's an honor for me that you people has invited me, especially Akshit and his colleague, and trusting me to give my opinion on the book. It's a strange encounters, a strange encounters. So I had read 3-4 chapters of this book when I received this book a few days back from Akshit, and I found it very interesting. Especially 3 chapters I have read when he was in Russia. So one is encounters with vodka, then the second chapter is encounter with the policeman, and then third chapter is encounter with the Russian girls. So since what I was experiencing with my the film journey, so I had made also 2 films. On one is on Sri Aurobindo Ghosh. It's a short span of his time, and other is Tagore, Rabindranath Tagore, and his encounter with the Victoria Ocampo. So what I found, while I was going through his book, so I found, all the stories which I have gone through, it's all stories, complete in even every single story is complete in itself. So being a filmmaker, so if I wanted to make a film, let's say on encounter with the Russian girl, so it's a complete story. So either you can make a short film or maybe you can make a feature-length film. So that way I found this book is very, very interesting. So in fact my film is also, it's not based on the whole life of the Tagore and Tagore. So it's a short span of time when Tagore was in Argentina and encountered with the Victoria. So my film started in 1924 and ends in 1941. So it's in that way, every chapter of his book narrates a complete story. So I found it very, very, very interesting. And in fact, while I was reading one of his stories, so I was thinking that why not, I should make some short film or maybe a feature film in future I can plan, So that way I found his book is very, very interesting. So that's all.
Suraj ji, ये तो सब बहुत अच्छा है. I was hoping that you could probably read one of that preface that we were talking about.
Preface.
Because that specific thing about the name, where he talks about the autobiography and the comparison between that and the encounter, the adventure itself. Or you could put it in your words also.
So I had made a short note. If you could, allow me.
Please.
Yeah. So
please.
I can.
For each person, for each panelist, I think we have about 8 to 10 minutes. You can please go ahead and.
No, I will not take much time. So I will take 5 to 7. So, so as a filmmaker, I have made the privilege of working on biopics about individuals whose life were in many ways both grand and intensely personal. So this book offers an opportunity to explore that intersection of personal recollection and public narratives. So Mr. Sahni begins the book by saying that this is not an autobiography in conventional sense, but an untangling random memories. So as someone who is crafted biographical narratives for the screen, this idea of untangling deeply resonates with me. So my film, especially thinking of him about Rabindranath Tagore, unique connection with Victoria Ocampo and Sri Aurobindo, the beginning of a spiritual journey which delves into his profound transformation are essentially about untangling threads of life, but from a cinematic perspective. So why I, concluded in this way, because, he started his Russia journey at the age of 18, and he came back at the age of 24. So he wrote 3-4 stories of his Russia journey, then his Pakistan thing, then the other thing. So it's not like, starting his life, the first chapter is about his childhood and the ends in the, the current time. So it's this book doesn't make like a story like that. So it's a, it's a untangling, it's a kind of thread he has created, and through that he narrates his journey. So that is what I found is in this book. So when Sahni refers to his book as a collection of random memories, it challenges us to question the nature of a life story. What makes a life coherent? Is it a continuous arc, or is it composed of these seemingly disconnected moments that somehow define who we are? As a filmmaker, my job is to create coherence. In a biopic, the protagonist's life is broken down in scenes and acts, yet each scene must contribute to the emotional or thematic whole. Take, for example, The Thinking of Him. The film is centered on Tagore's visit to Argentina and his unique relationship with Victoria Ocampo. On the surface, this could seem like an isolated episode in his life. But within that moment, the encounter, we find layers of influence, how a bond with one individual shaped a legendary artist's creative input, including his venture into painting, which led to an exhibition in Paris. So, Tagore was not a painter. So when he visited to Argentina and met Victoria Ocampo, and Tagore used to make doodles of his, corrections. So Victoria saw the, the doodles, and she actually inspired Tagore that why don't you start making paintings. So that is how, Tagore came back to India and started making paintings. So, so his meeting with Victoria is just a small period of time, 2 months of time he was in Argentina. So like that, the Parikshat Sahni ji has also, wrote in that way when he was in Russia. So he wrote 3-4 chapters on that journey, and that journey is, itself is a complete story. A single chapter, every individual chapter is a complete story in that way. So coming back to Sahni's work, I think his approach opens an interesting dialogue for us as a biographer and as storytellers. Is it enough to present life as a fragmented memories, or should we strive to seek some greater connections between them? So when I was making Sri Aurobindo Ghosh, the beginning of a spiritual journey, I faced a similar challenge. His life, like Sahni's, was composed of varied, often seemingly unrelated phases. Sri Aurobindo, the revolutionary, the poet and the philosopher, and then the spiritual seeker. But was it a single event like his trial at Alipur that caused his transformation, or was it a series of encounters entangling themselves over time that led to the profound spiritual realization? So this film is based on a 1 year prison life of Sri Aurobindo Ghosh. So Parikshat Sahni ji has also written about his journey of Russian journey, when he went there for the study at the institute and came back. So it's also about the short span of his time. So my film also deals in the similar way, So it's not about the Aurobindo's whole life, it's a short span of time. So Sahni's ideas of looking at random memories rather than a continuous, neatly structured life story challenges us to embrace the complexity of human experience. Not every memory has to fit into a perfect linear narrative. Life is often messy, and perhaps It's in that very mess that we find meaning. So, similarly, like I am also making presently.
Yes, sir, sometimes audible and at other times it becomes very muffled. But anyway, yeah.
So, similarly, in my current project on the Indo-Hungarian artist, based on it's a biography based on Amrita Shergill. So I find myself grappling with the different aspect of her life, her identity as a cosmopolitan woman, her ties to India and her artistic evolution all exist as a distinct episode. How do you tell her story? By connecting these scattered pieces into something greater, or by allowing them to exist as Sahni might suggest, as curious, sometimes disconnected, but ultimately human moments. So what Sahni's strange encounter leaves me with as a filmmaker and a storyteller is a reminder that our lives, much like the films we create, don't always need to follow a strict narrative structure. It's often in the space between the major events, in the small, curious encounters that we find the essence of a person. I believe that's where the real magic lies, both in Sahni's book and in the lives of great figures I have had the privilege to portray on a screen. Whether it's Tagore in Argentina, find a muse in the foreign land, Sri Aurobindo sitting in the solitude of a jail cell, contemplating the infinite. These are moments of life unfolding not as a sequence, but as a mosaic. So I thank Parikshat Sahni ji for giving us the courage to embrace randomness of memories, and I look forward to exploring more such encounters both in my films and in life. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
So, Parikshat ji, just to summarize, and I don't want to go into all of the detail. There was one question in my mind that you were candid enough to say that this is not an autobiography. This is episodes and these are encounters. I at least definitely want to know why you thought so.
ये आपको can you hear me now?
Better.
Right, so the thing about this not being an autobiography but an encounter or a series of encounters,
Yeah.
I would like you to
That.
slightly elaborate on that. Why do you think that these are, because these are also episodes which combine and come together to create an autobiography as well, but why do you feel that there is a difference between the two?
You see, I don't think in terms of autobiography, to be very frank, although I'm writing about it now. I was very young when I wrote this, I must have been 19 or 20.
Right.
And writing is like runs in the family,
Right.
Dad used to write, and Bishopji, of course, Bishop Sahni Sahab, they all encouraged me to write. And I just, I think what Shelley said about poetry is true about writing also. It should come to a man like leads to a plea, writing. Otherwise it didn't come at all.
Very well.
So, I couldn't help writing it down in my moments of Wordsworth. I studied literature in college, and Wordsworth has said that these are recollections recollected in tranquility. So I wrote this when I was back home, and look back on what had occurred in Russia and things that stood out, and I wrote about them as they came to me. And a lot of it was, of course, autobiographical. But it was all very, very, what was very, very, hierarchy, how you said in English, very
evident or bright.
da in my mind. And the things that came to me, I wrote them down naturally. It should, as Shelley has said, writing should come to a man like leaves to a tree. Otherwise, it needn't come at all.
Very well
So
said,
it
sir.
just came
बहुत
to me.
बढ़िया. Very well said. I think you've connected it well. One of the guests whom we had been waiting for also, she has also arrived. I'll also ask her to come on stage. Dr. Harshali Singh, please join us, an author, member judge. Please come on stage and आप इधर दे दो, because now this will be visible.
Thank you so much for waiting.
No. Harshali, please. Please have a seat. Please have a seat.
So, sir, I have one short question. So when you left Galia's, the Russian girl's house to your hostel, and you suddenly decided to, to come back to India, there was also, interaction with Nehruji and also with the, like your reading experience. So I just wanted to know, is there any family pressure or you just decided to come back to India?
That was my question.
Sir, to be very frank, I was thinking seriously in terms of settling down there with the Galina Serebrakova, who I was very close to. I've been with her for the last 2 or 3 years. And, but then it was Nehru who changed my mind. He came to India and I don't know if I read about this in my book. Mr. Clean-Call was a great friend of Dad. And he told me, come up and talk to, would you like to meet Nehru? I said, yeah, certainly, why not? He's the Prime Minister of our country, yeah. So I went to the first floor in the embassy, and Nehru came down, and he asked me point blank, he said, Mr. Sahni, what are your plans for the future? So I was very frank because it was Russia, and I didn't care a damn about him being a Prime Minister and all that. I said, sir, I don't want to come back to India. Because I'm very happy here. I settled down here only. And at first he lost his temper. He'd always carried a shell with him, a baton kind of thing. He lost his temper and then he suddenly changed his mood. And he said, Bete, he said something that brings tears to my eyes even today. He said, I know that Russia will be a blue-eyed, beautiful, blonde-haired mother to you. And India is an old, wrinkled woman, may be sick, but a mother is a mother. And she needs you. And she needs the children not when she is healthy, but when she is sick. And that's all he said. And he got up suddenly and left. He was a very short-tempered man. But then I roamed around in Moscow, I remember, for the whole night after that. And that changed my mind. I decided I had to come back to India. And it was very difficult. I got used to that place. I decided to marry Galia and settle down there. But then what everyone said really changed my mind. And I decided that after all, India is, yes, a mother is a mother. And he said in Hindi, he said, ये यहाँ की जो माँ है खूबसूरत है, पूरे आंखों वाली है, लेकिन वो तुम्हारी सौतेली माँ रहेगी हमेशा. Your real mother is India. Even if she is a leper, even if she is sick, she needs you. And then I just bought my ticket and came back.
So,
I can totally get that, how overwhelming this is for you, sir.
I'm sure that this was very overwhelming for you. आपको ये कहना जो है
तो
काफी
है।
it's not easy to narrate also, but हमारा plan
No, it was very difficult because I didn't know what to tell Galia, whom I had promised that I'll marry her and settle down there. And it was very difficult, very
read that
tough.
part.
I left.
Ramaji will and Harshali will jointly read that part. ये हमने अपने लिए task रखा है. So we will get to that
Sure.
part in a bit. But I would request, thank you so much, Suraj ji. Thank you so much.